say, if my memory is correct, I believe Sergey has shared with maybe not our listeners here because we have a whole different, there may be a lot of new people. So if you both want to share, that would be great. If just one of you wants to share, but we'd love to hear how you heard about Almine. I believe you two as a couple have a unique story to share. But whatever you would like to share, like how you met Almine, how your life has changed, what you'd really like to share with our listeners about that journey would be great.
Well, I actually found Almine through Sergey, so I'm going to have him, even if he's shared this, even if some of our listeners have already heard this story, it's always fun to hear Sergey's enthusiasm, and somehow the story always comes out differently every time he tells it. So
that's great.
Thank you. It was in 2006 when I was in America, in Portland, Oregon. I went to the esoteric bookstore there. And suddenly I felt drawn to Almine's CD, which is called Mystical Keys for Ascended Mastery. So, I always used to be a dissatisfied, hardcore spiritual seeker. And I went through many different schools and teachers, and predominantly, it was charismatic Christianity. This is my background. I used to pastor a church, even several churches. I was participating in a church planting movement here in Russia in 80s and 90s. But, traditional Christianity, it was not something which brought a really deep satisfaction to my soul. I always knew there's something more. And when I bought this CD, and I had a CD player with me, and immediately I put the CD in the player and began to listen right there in downtown Portland. And the voice of Almine and the music, in a few seconds, I just found myself in totally different reality, in some kind of parallel world. And I realized that, I did understand completely the message from the first time listening, but I knew somewhere deeper in my spirit that this is it, that I arrived. It was just something indescribable, and the tears began streaming out of my eyes right there in the downtown Portland. I was just standing and crying, and it was just beyond words. And the next day, I wrote a letter to Almine through Hilda, and received the reply, and Almine decided to give me a gift, 2 of her books. And I was already on the way to Russia, and the books arrived to my Russian home, and it was first of her books, Life of Miracles, and Journey to the Heart of God, and I began reading, and, during the time of my spiritual seeking, I had still millions of questions unanswered, and suddenly a miracle happened. All of my questions, which bothered me for many years, were just answered through the messages in those books, and it was incredible, something profound, and I got released from many things which was holding me in the past, many attachments and things from, especially from my Christian tradition, this judgmentalism and legalism, which used to be a huge, enormous pressure, many other things. I just received everything which I unconsciously, if I would say this, unconsciously desired, and it was just the beginning. And then events began to develop. I got myself in Colorado, in Almine's pod, And suddenly the idea came to Almine and us to start doing something in Russia, because when I got this, one of my first desires was to share this with my people, with Russians, Russian speaking, to somehow find some ways to start publishing Almine's materials in the Russian language. And then events began to develop, synchronicities, miraculously. We found a publishing house in Moscow out of many others which refused us. And Veligor Publishing House, they opened their doors for us, and they decided to publish Almine's materials. And then we began to work even closer with Almine. And we started a Russian website and translating online courses. And now we have fully developed Russian website with several books for sale, and music CD albums, and online course, Science of Immortality and Incorruptibility. It's all translated into Russian. And we translated another course, Kivesna High Alchemy, which very soon will be available. And 3 months alchemy course is on the way. And Irash Sattva Yoga, just translated, about to be typeset. We have a huge response, and emails coming and phone calls from, it's very interesting. Most of the people which are contacting us, they're already practicing healers, spiritual teachers, and many of them said that we just felt like we reached some barrier, and we don't know what to do next. And here, Almine opened the new doors.